a story, okay? In a jungle, there were three friends. One was the deer, the giraffe, and a rabbit. The rabbit comes running to these two friends, and he gives or he conveys a message. You know what the message is? He says, the bear in the forest, he has got a list of animals that he wants to eat. And the first animal that he wants to eat is the deer. So it is the deer's turn. The deer wants to confirm whether it is true. So he goes to the bear and he asks the bear, Bear, is it true that you have a list of animals that you want to eat? So the bear says, yes, I do. But am I on the list? The deer asks. So the bear says, yes, you are. And he pounces on the deer and he eats the deer. Yes, now the following day, it is the turn of the giraffe. Now the giraffe comes and he also wants to know. He comes to the bear and he says, Bear, is it really true that you have a list of animals that you want to eat? The bear says, yes, I do. So the giraffe is asking again the same question. He says, am I there on the list? The bear says, yes, you are. And done. He is also eaten. The next following day is the rabbit's turn. And you know what the rabbit does? He is the one who conveyed the message, isn't it? So the rabbit goes to the bear and he says, hi bear, am I there on the list? The rabbit says, the rabbit is asking the bear this question, hi bear, am I there on the list? The bear says, yes, you are rabbit. So the rabbit just asks a request. He says, can I be taken off the list? The bear says, yes, you can, there's no problem. Now, see, I just want to convey something from this message, from this story, I'm sorry. It is precise communication at the right time and at the right place is always a guarantee for success. Now I think I have come to the point. You have understood where I am connecting you to. Okay? It is all about communication or conversation which is very important in our life, isn't it? In our day-to-day life. If we have to convey a message, we have to talk to each other. You know what communication is? Interacting with people, isn't it? Okay. So we all use words and language every day, to interact with people at school, at work. Yes? Isn't it true? Yeah. But do we really communicate effectively? Do you think we really communicate effectively? Yeah. Now I'm going to teach you or tell you. I'm going to give you a few points on that. So it will be really helpful. Is that okay, students? Okay, let's go on to the next session. Effective communication can be broken down, into three parts. They are listening, understanding, and responding. Let's look at these one by one. Listening involves hearing the words that are being said, taking in the non-verbal cues. What are those? Such as body language, facial expression, and plus paying attention to the voice modulation. So we will move on to the next stage. Understanding or giving meaning to what we have heard. Most communication breakdowns happen at this stage, because we often misunderstand or misinterpret what is being said. When we make errors in interpretation, we are likely to respond incorrectly as well. For example, Let me give you an example. Your teacher asks you if the task that he has assigned to you is being completed. If you interpret that as the teacher blaming you for not completing the task, then you are likely to respond with anger. However, if you interpret the same thing, that your teacher just wanting to know the status of the task, you are likely to feel less angry and defensive. How we interpret what we hear is affected by the thoughts that pop up in our minds. So now let's go even more in detail as to how you can converse better. Let's focus on the points for great communication. To make it even more simple, let's see it as a meal. That is, when you prepare a dish, you need ingredients, isn't it? So what are the ingredients that we need for a good communication? So I'm going to give you 5 points. That is clarity, making your point very clear. And then brevity, making it quick. Context, your message should be relevant. Impact, very memorable. And then value, your message should be valuable. Now we're going to see how much of each point or each ingredient do we need to make our communication better, isn't it? So when do we use different proportions. So first one is, when do we use more of clarity? We're going to see to clarity. Well, when there is a lot of complexity, difficulty, around a situation or around the issue, you need to make sure that the message is conveyed with clarity so that the people understand what it is really about. Like, your physics subject, if you take up, that is E is equal to mc square, has to be explained with clarity so that you children can understand. So certain messages should be very clearly given. So that is clarity. Now we will go on to the second one. Brevity. If your audience, is flipping to the end, right in the first few minutes, so they don't want to just go on with your message, they just keep flipping to the end, then your story is out of sequence. Don't keep your audience in suspense, Just get to the point. I can use the keyword is to be short. Keep it short or brief and tight to your main point. So that's brevity. Now the next point is, let's go to context. Context. Okay, how about context? Context may be when there is unfamiliarity with the topic, or when you are communicating with the people that have a lot on their mind. They're more confusing. When they're more confusing and when the topic is unfamiliar, then we need the ingredient context. So you must have understood what clarity, brevity and context is. Let's go to the point impact. If your audience does not find your message memorable or impactful, then your message won't stand out. It is hard to be remembered. You have to really work at it to make it impactful. Next is value. If your audience does not see value in what you are talking about, it will go in one ear and out the other, and will be quickly forgotten. You should never tell them why it is valuable to you, but you tell them why it is valuable to them. That is very important. And all the 5 of these ingredients, are going to be present in every conversation. We always have clarity, brevity, context, impact, and some value. It depends on whom you're preparing for. You have to make choices, So which point needs to be given more importance? Remember, different audience have different tastes. So be sure to adjust the ratio of your ingredients or points to suit their taste. Okay, children? Yeah. Come on. Now we're going to use communication strategies, to make it or to be more clear. Strategies can help us overcome miscommunication. So the idea behind is that through effort and strategies, we can improve. Effective communication is not something that is born knowing how to do, It is a skill that we can nurture and develop over time. I was just talking to you about strategy. You know what strategy is? You have to first know what it is. It's a detailed plan for achieving success in different situations. Here it is. Now we just because we're talking about communication, it is for communication skills. Okay? So let's see to the strategies for effective verbal conversation or communication. I'll give you around 7 points. Let's go on. Focus on the issue, not the person. Try not to take everything personally. That's the first point. I am reminded of a story. A young man went over to another man at a wedding. He said, "Do you remember me?" And he introduced himself. "Ha, you're my student. How are you? And what are you involved in?" He asked. "I'm a teacher." "Oh, so you are also a teacher like me. What inspired you to become a teacher?" So the young man said, "It was you, sir, who inspired me." "How did I inspire you to become a teacher?" he asked. The man reminds him. "One day, one of my friends had brought a wristwatch to school. I was tempted and I decided to steal his watch. And I took it. The boy complained to the teacher. The teacher made an announcement to the class to return the watch. I was too embarrassed. I didn't want to return it. So you said, all the boys line up at the wall and close your eyes. You went from pocket to pocket. You came to my pocket also. And you found the watch, took it out, and asked the boys to open the eyes, gave it to the owner, and you never ever said a word to me. You saved my dignity that day. I very well understood the message. Wow, this is what a teacher is. Don't you remember the incident, sir? I thought when you see me, you will very well remember." But the teacher said, "No, I don't." The man was surprised. "How is it, sir?" Now comes the real answer. The teacher said, "It was because I had also closed my eyes." So it's a very inspiring story. And I just want to tell you that, the teacher did not focus on the person, but he focused on the issue. This is what I tried to say. Now let's go on to the next point. Be genuine rather than manipulative. Be honest with yourself. And focus on working well with the people around you. And you have to act with integrity. The third point is empathize rather than remain detached. This is regarding relationship and interaction with the others. So, if you don't care about the others or care about them, it is very difficult for them to care about you when it comes to working together. So don't separate yourself. So this is the third point that I wanted to tell you. Be flexible and open towards others' point of view. Be open to other ways of doing things too. Because diversity brings creativity and innovation. And the next point is value yourself and your own experiences. Be firm about your own rights and needs. If you undervalue yourself, the others will undervalue you too. Offer your ideas and expect to be treated well. Present yourself as an equal partner rather than a superior. See, you cannot be a boss always. A leader should always serve and not be served. I think you can understand it. And the last point is use affirming responses. Respond to others in ways that acknowledge their experiences. Thank them for their input. Affirm their right to their feelings, even if you disagree. Okay? And then ask questions, express positive feelings, and provide positive feedback when you can. So I think all these points were very useful and very effective. Thanks for listening. Thank you.